sometimes the villains deserve a bit of love, and the girls in these animes definitely deserve even more, though maybe the last entry gets a bit too much. Here are the top 10 romance anime where the female MC is a villainess. Number 10.
第三王子のジオルド・スティアート様だよ。さあ、ご挨拶をなさい。
はじめまして、カタリナ・クラエスでございます。
Starting off our list, we have My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. Katarina Kolaes is a bratty daughter of a doting duke who terrorizes service workers and is possessive of any man who catches her eye. That is until she was caught tripping and landed headfirst onto the cold hard ground. This hateful incident led her to unlock long-lost memories of another life where she had a loving Japanese family and spent her days climbing trees, running from dogs, and wasting away hours as a smelly otaku who played games. One of those games happened to be Fortune Lover, which is exactly the word she now finds herself in, inside the body of a game's villainess, Katarina Kolaes.
もう足は平気なようですね、カタリナ様。
待ってください、ジオルド様。
Now, you might be thinking our main character here is in for a fun ride full of comedy, friendship, and romance. But, well, actually, you're completely right. In the mind of the new Katarina Kolaes, she may be in for a long and dangerous road with death flags abound. But in reality, this series is all about the growing friendships and steamy romance surrounding our goofy little villainess.
すごいわ、キース。あなたは天才だわ。これこそが魔法よ。危ない。近づいちゃダメだ。
Number 9.
父上、馬車に乗ってはいけません。その場所は車輪が壊れています。あなたは母上に会う前に事故に遭います。
Next up, we have the most heretical last boss queen, from villainess to savior. In this anime, our plant-sounding protagonist, Pride Royal Ivy, is going through much rougher patches than in our previous entry. While also being surrounded by a flock of attractive men, Pride is a much less self-centered girl, immediately trying to save as many of the world's inhabitants as she can. And while she does so, while using her smart and knowledge, she's also not afraid to be on the front lines, using her proficient sword fighting skills. This series definitely has a much more dramatic take on the villainous formula, portraying a more gruesome idea of what a villainess is and how much pain they cause. Thankfully, the arrival of our protagonist into Pride Royal Ivy's body means she now does her very best to prevent and ultimately save all those around her. And with that in mind, you of course also get great romantic development as Pride ends up being such a kind and heroic figure that her followers can't help but swoon over. Adopted brothers, chivalrous knights, and even reformed bandits can't escape the saving graces of the most heretical last boss queen.
セイル、私をあの戦場に。
ダメです、姉君。危険なのは予知したあなたが一番ご存知ではないのですか。
Number 8.
私、花咲凛子はレリアナ・マクミランとして小説の中の世界に転生してしまった。
For the third entry to our list, we have why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's mansion. Unlike the others on this list, this anime is adapted from a Korean webtoon. And if you've seen a couple of those, you already know you're in for a treat with not only the female, but also male characters in this heart-pounding series. Having just gotten word of how she finally passed an entrance exam, Ringo Hanasaki is pushed over by some glitch in the Matrix, and not unlike any other isekai, Ringo is reborn as Raeliana Macmillan from a novel she had once read. After getting her bearings though, she realizes her troubles are far from over.
私はこの世界で目を覚ました。にしても慣れないな。まさかこんな美人に生まれ変わるなんて。
You see, Raeliana is actually just a side character in the novel, one who dies early on to help push the actual main character into doing main character things. And so she resorts to the only clear solution to all her problems, breaking up with her fiancé and getting engaged to a hot and mysterious duke. Now, you might be thinking that Raeliana is not quite a villainess, and you're kinda right. She is, in fact, never mentioned to be one. But the tropes and general plot found here are very reminiscent of other villainous titles, especially the next one we have on this list. Either way, Rinko Hanasaki's intelligence and courage shine through as she tries her best to stay alive and thrive in this fantasy world she only knew as a novel.
私はウィンナイト公爵様と心が通じ合っているのです。
Number 7.
まさか私を？まさか？いいえ、こうなることはどこかで。
For number 7, we have I'm the Villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. In this series, another weeb finds herself inside the body of an Otome game villainess, this time named Eileen Lorraine Deltrice. But there is a slight issue. The moment she gains her memories back is exactly when her fiancé is calling off their marriage to be with the game world heroine. With this, the new and improved Eileen immediately sets out knowing that she's close to the end game. You see, as the world state is nearing the end of the game, where her character Eileen is destined to die in various ways in the hands of the story's final boss character. And of course, the only logical answer to this problem is to tame the final boss. Thankfully, the final boss is still in his mysterious hottie phase.
誰と誰が結婚だって。
Sharing more similarities with My Next Life as a Villainess with its higher energy and comedy-infused character interactions, this series also boasts a higher fantasy setting with magic, being much more involved than any of the previous entries in the list. And while all protagonists in this list are great and all, Eileen is definitely one who stands out as her anime's strongest element. Not to mention, she is voiced in Japanese by the ever-wonderful waifu queen, Rie Takahashi.
私にも至らない点があったのでしょう。でもだからといってメソメソ泣いていると？私は1秒たりとも人生を無駄にする気はありません。
Number 6. Next on the list, we have 7th Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. The first in our list with a villainous MC that is not isekai, Reisei Irmgard Weitzner finds herself in a familiar situation not just for us, but also for her. With the familiar scene being publicly cut off from her engagement by her fiancé, Reisei only has a stone face to show the gloating crown prince. The thing is, this isn't her first rodeo. In fact, as the title suggests, this is already her 7th rodeo. From knight to doctor to merchant and everything in between, Reisei has had multiple fulfilling lives each time she goes through the loop, always returning to the fateful day her engagement is broken off. The loop seems to start over after 5 years wherein she always ends up dying.
私はタリー会長の下で商いを学んだ。そして商人として独立し、世界中を巡り、すべての国を旅するという夢もできた。
The series itself follows Reisei as she starts her journey on her 7th loop and somehow finds herself entangled with neighboring kingdom's prince. And typical of Reisei's unfortunate life, that prince happens to be Prince Arnold, the very cause of all her deaths in previous loops. And so starts a heart-pumping quest by Reisei to chip away at the Dark Prince's secrets with all her previous experiences helping her out. Who knows, maybe she even finds love along the way. Who are we kidding? She definitely finds love along the way.
俺を知っているのか？この国に来たのは初めてだが。
Before we move on, I'm curious to know which amazing villainous main character you'd like to hang out with. And while you comment the answer down below, make sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Number 5.
休暇中なのに毎日手合わせしてもらってごめんね。
俺から頼んだことだろ。授業中にまた吹っ飛ばされても困るからな。
最近は力加減を練習しているわ。
For the fifth anime on the list, we have Villainess level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord. This time, similar to Pride earlier on the list, our MC isn't just relying on knowledge to get by on her isekai villainous journey. Yumiela Dopeness is not only willing to throw hands to preserve her peaceful life, she's for damn sure throwing them hard as this world's hidden boss. After entering the Otome RPG game, World of Light Magic and the hero, thanks to the ever-reliable Truck-kun, Yumiela decides she wanted to enjoy the new world and live a peaceful life with her overpowered self.
一人でも平気だろ。腕一本くらいなら魔法で再生できるし。クリアした。
This meant laying low and making sure she didn't involve herself with any of the important characters. But while she's at it, she also goes through the mindset to raise her levels as much as she can, just in case she needs to solo the Demon Lord. And as you would expect, while she did exactly as she set out to do, she is quickly revealed to her peers, including the important characters, to have reached level 99. And that, my friend, is the start of Yumiela's not at all peaceful life with her definitely overpowered self. Definitely do give this a try if you enjoy that mix of trashy fun with an overpowered MC.
聖なる光の魔法よ、闇を打ち払い、我に力を授けたまえ。
Number 4.
その日もブラックな残業を終えて趣味のゲームに没頭していたはずだった。嘆かわしいこと。私にこのようなものとなりの授業。
Now the fourth entry in our list, we have I'm in love with the villainess. Gotten tired of all the male love interests on this list? Well, have no fear, for the Yuri is most definitely here. In my opinion, the first anime on the list where the villainess is actually a villainess, Claire Francois, has all the conventional traits you're looking for, such as a princess laugh, high school level bullying, and entourage of bullies to back her up. One minor issue is that the protagonist, yes, they're different, of this show is Ray Taylor, the world's heroine, who is actually an isekai winner. And I say winner since she is the multiverse's biggest Claire Francois simp, and as the title and very first scene of this anime suggests, this is arguably the most romantic entry on our list.
そんな乙女ゲームでの私の推しはクレア様。私はクレア様が大好きです。
Romance is no backseater in this story, it's the entire vehicle, and the vehicle's name is Ray Taylor. Well, while there's also a magic action and prince interaction, the real heart of the series is the very sincere take it has on same-sex attraction. While Claire starts off not having any of Ray's advances, she does definitely warm up to her and even respects her grind. With an exploration of not just Ray's sexuality, but also of Claire's many responsibilities, this is an anime that keeps on giving even after you're satisfied with the many hilarious moments and fun character relationships.
私に負けるのが心配で眠れなかったというわけですわね。クレア様に何をしてもらうか考えていたら夜が明けてしまいました。そっちですの？
Number 3. Number 3, the magical evolution of the reincarnated princess and the genius young lady. If the last anime on the list wasn't enough to fulfill your hunger for Yuri, then look no further because this anime has plenty to give. Euphilia Magenta is the daughter of a duke and has insane magical talent, but even that doesn't save her from having her engagement broken off by a dumb prince who's fallen for a common girl.
私たちに何かを選ぶ権利などありはしないがな。まあ貴重なご意見だ。ありがたく聞こう。私にふさわしい相手を選ばせてもらうさ。
Sound familiar? But don't you worry, Anisfia Winpaletia is here to literally crash the party and save the day. Wondering why her dumb prince brother would break off an engagement with such waifu material, Anisphia takes Euphilia in as her assistant to live with. And so starts a familiar journey of two very different souls working together, living together, and eventually, well, doing whatever your dirty mind can imagine together. But before that, there's plenty of high-quality animation to spare on epic action sequences that does well to showcase both the magical talent of Euphilia and the physicality and ingenuity of the marauder princess Anisphia. Number 2.
とうとうやってくれたんだね。マジ恋。
いや、毎日聞かされてるもんだからつい。
Now at number 2, we have Endo and Kobayashi live, the latest on Tsundere Villainess Lisa Lotte. If you have ever wondered what it would like to be to watch anime alongside actual anime characters, then this is the show for you. Definitely one of the most unique entries on this list, as it simultaneously covers both modern-day POV as well as that fantasy setting. In this anime, Endo and Kobayashi are members of the broadcast club in their high school, and Endo has a bit of a crush on Kobayashi as well. So, naturally, when Kobayashi keeps recommending a game called Magi Koi, then it's a gentleman's duty to make sure he has the same interests in it as well.
マジ恋しながら実況つけたらいいじゃん。
実況？
そう、実況。発声練習にもなるし、球技大会とかにも役立つし。
は
あ。いいね。それいい。だったら私解説やる。
This all brings us to a cute moment as they both play the game together while also getting some practice in for their broadcasting duties. Now, if you watch any type of sports at all, then you're probably familiar with commentators, and that's especially what these two lovebirds are. The magic happens when their voice starts spawning rainbow magic on the game's characters, namely Sigwald Fitzenhagen, who is engaged to the titular villainess Lisa Lotte Riefenstahl. This leads to tons of extremely cute moments as the otherworldly commentators like Sigwald and the rest of the Love cast realize just how cute the villainess Lisa Lotte really is. Plus points for being one of the only two traditional blondes and actually prickly villainesses on this list.
単なる予備の全然全くいらない杖ですから。
優しいね、リーゼロって。
Number 1.
お前ダンス下手すぎ。
ひどい。
でも今日はいつも以上に見てて面白いな。それに安心した。
Finally, for the last entry on this list, we have Game World Reincarnation. While we've gone through many great anime with wonderful romance, we can all agree they haven't been the most explicit? Just like most in our list, Game World Reincarnation is exactly as it says. A Japanese woman who is reincarnated in a game world as a villainess. The kicker this time, well, it's an eroge, or to the Western tongue, an 18+ game.
視線が痛いけどクリスチャンを呼んで大正解。このゲームで王子とクリスチャンのラブ度が上がるイベントのうちの一つ。
Good thing Diana Diafel is the villainess of the story and not the heroine. Or maybe a bad thing? Well, if you're looking for some steamy action, then have no fear, because while the heroine may get Diana's fiancé, Prince Sirius Ivera is all in one on the Diana train. Literally. Now, there is a more relatively safe for work edition of the series, but it's half the runtime, and that clocks in at 4 minutes an episode. So I'd say it's best to bite the bullet and get what you came for. We don't judge here.
服がなくて。
メイドが洗ってるからな。
もうそのくらい自分でやるのに。
And that is all for today. Hope you had a great time with us. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below any of your thoughts on this villainous bunch. Until next time.